Let's take a look at some of the screenshots of ehallpass. Ehallpass will work on any interface, including native apps. The interface here is a web-based interface, but it does look very similar to an app, so it'll give you a feel for both, actually. The first thing we're going to do is the student will log in, and once they log in, the student is taken right to their pass interface. So there's a picture of the student that is part of the pass system so that it easily identifies the student, and then there is the name of the student and the school, and the student would simply choose his period, and automatically the teacher is supplied because the system knows what teacher and in what room they are in by period. But if there happens to be a deviation from that, it's very easy to make a change. And so you'd be able to select a corrected teacher that you're with, or a corrected room that you're in. And then if you have if you just need a quick pass, there'd be some default options for quick pass. So if the student clicks on that little question mark, or there'd be a quick choice of a bathroom or locker, and so they would be able to select one of those, and that would be supplied down in here, and they would hit submit. But if they are not if their need for a pass is not a quick pass option, they can choose create a new pass. So when they click on that, a pop-up comes up, and they can choose a teacher or a room. There'll be another tab here for offices, whether it's guidance office or discipline office or main office, etc., or nurse's office. Those will be in here. And the student chooses, the teacher chooses their reason, and then hits submit. And when they hit submit, their pass goes to the red, meaning it's set, but it's not activated yet. At this point, the student would raise their hand, say, talk to their teacher and say, I'd like to go to, wherever it is that they would like to go. And the teacher then has a decision to make. So the teacher has three options now at this point. Option one is they can go to their laptop or iPad, and they can check the request, because at this point the request is logged on the teacher side. And they could hit the approval check mark, and that would activate the pass. Option two for the teacher is to ask for the student to come up to the front of the room with their pass, and the teacher would sign the pass. And this is how that would work. They would simply click in on their name, and when they do that, up pops the interface, or the digital signature area, which is basically the teacher putting in their 4-digit PIN. And when they do that, then and click done, then the pass becomes active, and it's no longer red, it's now green, and the timer starts to elapse and counts how many minutes and seconds they were out of the classroom. The third option, going back here, is that the teacher can pull out their app, and they would be able to approve. They would see the cue off of their phone, if they're going to use that. They would be able to click on their device and approve the student. The other thing, though, before they approve the student, is they might wish to see the greater context of the student. So right here we see that there is a 3. There's a number 3 here, and that means that the student has used 3 passes already. And if I were to click on that, then I would get a little table display that would show the periods that the student was out and where they went. And so if it happens to be a situation where maybe the teacher would like to not approve the request because it seems to be not necessary based on their previous pass history for that day, then they could do that, or they'd have at least some more details to have a conversation with the student about the need for the pass, or the urgency of it. Once the pass is approved, the pass has a couple of other features. It has the ability to not just show the from and the to, but also the time that the student was signed out, and whenever a teacher signs that student in or checks in along the way, there would be a time log of that. And also you can see here that there's an add or change destination, so this flex system is passable. It's one pass that got approved, but if there is some rerouting done, maybe a principal reroutes the student or has the student come to their office, or a teacher stops them for a longer conversation, that could be logged in here. The next thing that happens then is the student arrives at the destination. And so the check mark has moved now from where we saw it before, which was at Mrs. Detweiler's. It's now down below here. And the teacher, once the student arrives at the destination, the student would click in, and there'd be the menu that we just saw before, where the receiving teacher would now put in their PIN. And when you would do that, then there would be a timestamp here in the in. If the student is only there for a minute, then the student would need to check back out. So the teacher, now you can see Mr. Wimmer is on the outside, and the expected is that Mr. Wimmer would type in his PIN on that machine, on that device, and the time would stamp out. And when the student arrives back at his original teacher where he left for the class, that teacher would pin him in, and now the pass would be complete, and there'd be also a record of how many minutes the student was out of class for that request. If there's a need to, if the student is coming in and out very quickly, you might have noticed here that there is an in and out option here, and so that would be, the student's only coming in for about 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, and then leaving quickly after that. So the staff, the teacher could click the in and out button and then type in their PIN and hit done. And when they do that, both the in and the out, just like the menu item says, would be filled in with the same time, and the teacher wouldn't have to fill it in twice. If the student decided to change the destination, or if the teacher, somebody in the hall, needed to reroute the student, you would click the add or change destination, and the student would fill out, hey, in the end, for any number of reasons, maybe the teacher wasn't there, or maybe there was some reason to change the request in the hall. The student can fill that out and hit submit, which locks this whole display. It logs it, and the student can make changes to it. And then whatever teacher name and room he's put in here, when he arrives at that alternate location, that teacher would pin him in, and it would look something like this then. You would see that there was an update to the itinerary, and this will be in a highlighted color, not just the same color as everything else. And you would see the name of the teacher that made the change, and there'd be a little speech bubble there, a little place for them to click on, anybody to click on the note to see why this, what reason was given for the change. And then there would be an ability to, instead of going, in this case you can see the pass was supposed to be Detweiler, Wimmer, and then Wimmer back to Detweiler. In the end, what happened is, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense for it to be Detweiler again, but I suppose it could be. But this would have been another teacher, maybe Wimmer, or maybe another teacher in the hall, that says where the student is asked to go to the teacher named Sem, and then that Sem would return the student back to Detweiler. So there's a nice logical flow to that, and it's flexible. Now, whether or not a school decides to use this ability to add or change locations, that's up to the school district. It just has that flexibility built in so that it can handle any kind of additional rerouting or change in the destination of the original pass, and it's nicely organized and logged. The next thing that you can see here these are used up passes. So once the pass is used up, there's a record of how many minutes the student has been out. Now in our demo here, it doesn't add up because 4 minutes and 5 minutes should be 9, and we have 15 up here, but it's just a demo here to show you what it looks like. So that's basically it from the student side. This shows the teacher side now, and the teacher, when they in their first week, they would be putting in or the first time that they use it, they would be filling out their schedule. This is set up for a 9-period schedule, but it would work for a 4-period schedule as well, or a 5-period. And the teacher would indicate what room they are in during first period, and what room they're in during second period, and so on. And of course, there are times, here's what that interface would look like to make those changes. So it doesn't matter whether the schedule is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whether it is, I can show you another screen here. let's see, where did I have that here? There it is. Day 1 or day 2, the system will be able to handle odd, even days, 6-day cycles or 4-day cycle, doesn't matter. This way, if you're in one room on even days and in a different room on odd days, you'd be able to, as a teacher, indicate that. And that would just help the students. When they choose your name, they would know where, what room. They wouldn't have to fill out the room because you'd be automatically in that room. Now, if you did need to make a temporary change, you can notice down here there's a way to make a temporary change, and that would allow you to indicate for the next couple of days you're in a lab or you're outside or someplace like that. And then if a student requests, the system actually keeps them more up to date than a normal traditional pass system would, because it would know and help the kid find you in the right spot. And so there's a way to make those temporary changes, and that looks like, hang on a second, that looks like this. You would indicate that you're changing your schedule, your typical period 1, and you would have a drop down and could say, from this date to this date, I am not in the traditional room for that period, I'm in a different room, and you can add another date. Oh, by the way, and later on next month, I already know that I'll be in a different room for a certain set of dates, and the system will automatically reflect that change to students when those dates hit. And if you were using the app, this is how you would, as a teacher, approve a request without going to your laptop or without using the student's iPad or laptop. You would be able to approve it from your phone app. And these would be the requests that are pending approval. In this case, there are 2 students in the same room in the same period, although, again, our demo has the different periods. That would not be logical. You'd be able to approve them there, and that would turn the pass to green. And here you've already approved one. He's already out in the hall. Now, if there were changes to that pass while the student is out, obviously you would see those updates and be able to see why the student is detained longer than expected. So this gives you an idea and a feel for the different screens that are inside that make up ehallpass. And again, if you have any questions or would like to talk about a circumstance or a scenario that you have a question about, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us at ehallpass.com. And you can email us at ehallpass@eduspire.org. And we look forward to making ehallpass the best system that we can.